I, you will be amazed. Cry, cry, cry. Biggest names in the game. Cry, cry. Two names of the same.
Yes, y'all. Great night. Great night here in Georgia. Great night in New York City. We live here on Prime Time. Like I tell people each and every time, the M is small and it's quiet in the word prime time, but the small things will quietly lead you to the bigger opportunities. Follow me each and every day at Entertainer, all social media platforms, and even on Cash App. Today we have a great guest. She's a writer. She's a life coach. Some people call her DS. Some people call her Dhara Singh. Follow her. Check her website out at liferesumecoaching.com. And if you're on social media, if you're on Instagram, she's also on Facebook. And what's the other one you're on?
Twitter.
This is her signal, D Sing X. So if you're looking for something special, you're looking to network with the best. You're looking at the face that's all over the place, Dhara Singh. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm in a high vibe state. This is my week off from work, and I'm really focusing on furthering my writing business, my coaching business. Things are looking great.
Okay, we're gonna get into that through your name. So your name is gonna give others the game, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get right into it, and then at the end, if there's anything we missed out on, be more than likely to add, some more sauce to the recipe. The deal
Love it.
Store. Tell us about your story, how you was moving in one direction and you had a detour into another, because sometimes in life people feel like they have to keep going. They had to keep going. They had to keep going. Talk to us about that. That's a real interesting story.
Yeah. So in 2016, I was commuting 4 hours in a given day from my job from New Jersey, Central Jersey, all the way to Brooklyn. And a day I did 4 hours of commuting for a year and a month. Suddenly, it seemed like no type of makeup could conceal the dark circles. And I was just so tired, and I was working in a bank as an analyst. And when I was in a bank, there's a part of me that loved Excel sheets, don't get me wrong. I was data oriented, but there's a part of me that really wanted something creative too, because I always considered myself a writer. So I wondered, is there a way for me to combine the both? And the answer was journalism. But I was just like, how am I going to do that? Does journalism even make money? How am I going to do that if I've never even published anything credible? So I'd stare at the Columbia Journalism's website, graduate school, during my 9 to 5, stare. And after a year, I finally got courage to apply. And then I quit my job and I went to pursue it at full force and got into my dream school. And now I'm at Yahoo Finance today.
Okay. Did you all hear that? She left her job, got into a dream school, and she's at Yahoo Finance. I just want y'all to catch that, because sometimes we don't think that we can leave one level and take it to the next level. The H is for help. Discuss how your coaching business helps others succeed.
So I know firsthand what it feels like to maybe have so many different interests, right? Because society always tells you just pick one thing and stick with it. And I know that, let's say you're an analytical person, but you're also a creative person like me, right? So there are opportunities for you out there, and sometimes you might need to get help for those. So through my life coaching business, Life Resume, coaching.com, what I do is I try to help people who have multiple interests, who want to know what their true life purpose is and help them get there. And I feel because I've been through that, I can really help other people make that easy transition.
The alien names for author. You had mentioned that, you know, when you were doing all those commutes and everything, you started getting into your writing more. Tell us about your book, because I know it's helping the young ladies out.
Yeah, look at this. This is the book. It's called
Lovely.
Tell Her She's Lovely, an anthology, and it's a book of poems. So what I used to do is when I was on that NG Transit commuting, I'd literally take out my iPhone. I would open up the Notepad app and start scribbling away random poems about how I was feeling, right? Writing was a great outlet for me. You know, it was just a way for me to put my thoughts down. And before that time, in 2016, I pretty much never wrote an actual poem before. It was just very natural. And when I was going through the frustration of my career switching, when I was going through, you know, all these existentialist questions, you know, when you first get out of college, you study something and then you're just like, crap, oh my God, like, you know, this isn't fitting. What do I do? Right. So I needed a place to vent all that. And what I did was anything that I was feeling, I would just kind of put it into words, into poetry. And then basically, as I would write more and more poems and really put them in my iPhone's notepad, share them with friends, here and there even publish them, I'm like, all right, it's time to write a book. So it took 4 years. It took 4 years for this to come together, just because it was like a natural process. It wasn't forced.
Right.
And what I aim with Tell Her She's Lovely is for women to feel empowered to go after their dreams through the 3 chapters: conflict, confrontation, and peace. You are on a journey of letting go of external validation and just stepping into your authentic self and finding peace with who you are.
Is there a website for your book?
Yeah, tellhershe'slovely.com.
SHES lovely.
TELLERSHELOVELY.com.
Tellhershe'slovely.com. So if you're interested in the book, if you like the poems, if you want to get it yourself, you know, that's why we do it live. We put the website up just like that. So
would it be okay if I say like a small poem from the back of the book?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
All right. So this is the poem that really started the book. It's called Tell Her She's Lovely. So tell her she's lovely because a flower without sun will perish in a selfish sea. Tell her she's lovely because a flower without water will drown in the world's heat. Tell her she's lovely because this is the flower you dodged meadows, dodged thorns just to keep.
Amen.
And I barely showed my writing on Instagram because I thought people would make fun of me. You know, everyone's doing banking. They're like, what are you doing? Right. But this poem is so symbolic because when I wrote that poem under like 15 minutes on a train ride, straight up went and posted it on my Instagram, and I got so much positive feedback, and it shocked me. I was like, wow, guys and girls, like no one's laughing over this. They're appreciating it. And I remember people were saying, well, we like this. Keep on writing, you know, keep on showing your work. And I was just like, you know, suddenly a door opened. It's like a door opened where I felt more confident to show who I was, you know, and we're also multifaceted. So I really hope that other people feel inspired to show different sides of themselves.
Oh, that's right. That's great. The R's for Renaissance. You mentioned that you describe yourself as a Renaissance soul.
Yeah.
Break that down to us.
So in society, you grow up, your mom and dad, I mean, well, I come from an open-minded family, but meaning like even in school and college, right? You're told to pick one thing and stick with it. A lot of people are looking at for you, and the perception is by multitasking, you're probably going to be scatterbrained. But there is a personality type there called a Renaissance soul that is meant to juggle multiple things. So you know how we have a spectrum of gender identity, of sexuality identity. We also have a spectrum of different personalities, right? And one of them is someone who wasn't ever born to do just one thing. Like for me, I'm a journalist now, but I'm also a life coach. I'm also an author. It doesn't mean I'm scatterbrained. It just means that my life purpose is to do all of this, right? At the same time. And because a lot of people feel frustrated because they're told that pick one thing, they're like, how can I pick one thing when so many things interest me? So I really want to dispel that notion that you don't have to just do one thing, you know? And
Right.
through my coaching business, I really want to revive that and pioneer that and really, make it really assure people. Yeah.
Right. I like that. Sometimes you got to speak something to make it right, to make
Yeah.
it work. The last word letter in your name is for awakening. Discuss about finding your purpose and your authentic identity. Why is that important?
It's first of all, there's going to be so many moments in your life where out of the blue, like I'm saying out of the blue, you know how people get stressed out, like what's my life purpose? Especially during the pandemic, so many people are waking up to who they're truly meant to be. And they're just getting some type of spiritual download where they thought they were going one way, but then suddenly they're being pulled back to who they're supposed to be. And I think it's so important to listen to that intuition, listen to that voice, because if you don't, it's just going to get louder and louder. So I did some here, but it was only this year that I got this guidance where it's just like, hey, you've been through things. Now you need to help other people who, are trying to go through this stuff. And even if viewers don't want to look at things in a spiritual sense, it's just so important to listen to your gut, because you're not going to be happy unless you really, you express yourself and who you really are.
Oh, that's a bless. That's a bless. Before we go, is there anything that we missed out or that you'd like to add?
I think my biggest thing would be to say that there's going to be a million people to give you advice. There's going to be a million self-help books. This is actually a good book if anyone wants to start their business, but there's going to be like a million books, a million courses. You can take all those things, but in the end, you actually have to do something, right? So my biggest thing would be listen to your gut intuition, do get help. And if you do need some guidance in your career transitions, or even if you want to write a book like me, reach out. I'm happy to help you through the process.
Yeah, that's a blessing. This is one of her websites right here, lightresumecoaching.com. Another one of her website is for her book, Tell Her She Lovely. Ms. Dhara, you're lovely. Tell her she's lovely. If I'm looking at you, I got to start with you. So it's a blessing to interview you. Not only is she a writer, but she's also a life coach. Her name is Dhara Singh, and follow her on all social media platforms at Singh with the X for the X Factor.
I love that.
It's a blessing to be with you. Another great edition of Prime Time, where the small things lead to the big opportunities. Once again, follow me on all social media platforms at Anti-Trainer and even on Cash App. Just like my friend, his name is Zay Sanford, Z-A-Y Sanford Music on Twitter, Zay Sanford Music on Instagram. He brought us in. I'm going to let him take us away.